Okay, so the first thing I wanted to go over was just how to take any backdrop you want and crop it into a circle. Um, Great websites for this are pixabay.com. You can search through their images. These are all copyright free. You can use them for whatever you want. You can even type in here, say you want one of those like vintage wood backgrounds. So type in wood, or even get more specific with wood texture, maybe even vintage wood. You can see, so nice blue backdrop you can use. Lots of different things here. I love this blue door. And these are giant photos, so if you're just wanting like a small attribute of it, it'll be fine because it's a 2x2 image that you're going to be doing. So another great site is unsplash.com. Unsplash is a photographer's community. They upload their photos. They're completely free to use. When you find an image you want, make sure you click on it to pull up the larger image. So say we want a Christmas theme photo. So we're going to go type in Christmas, and it's going to give you a lot of other suggestions here for different categories they have. So let's go down here. Okay, so say we really like this nativity. We pull up the bigger photo. You can then go to download free, or you can drag it over to your Photoshop app, and that's another way to download it to your computer. So now that it's here, we are going to focus on using these two top tools right here. So the second one is your marquee, and right now it has a rectangular marquee tool. That's not what we want. So you're going to hold it down and release your mouse, and it'll come up with these different options. And we want the elliptical marquee tool. So I try to follow the rule of thirds here, and I don't want this centered. It would also be difficult to center because it is in the bottom third of this photo. So I'm going to just start my circle, and as you can see, I messed up a little bit. It's cutting off here. So you can either use your arrow tools to move your circle over like this. If you are not a very patient person, then another option you have is to just go to select, deselect, and then do it all over again. And that's going to let you recrop your circle. So say I like this, but we still have all this that we need to get rid of. If I hit delete now, it's going to ask me fill, obviously contents white. So that deleted the wrong part of our picture here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that the outside is what is selected. So you're going to go select inverse, which is also the Shift Command I. So the shortcuts are really nifty to learn. If you plan on using Photoshop, it makes everything go really fast. I'm trying to use the menu so y'all can all see. But just go here, and we're going to delete that now, and contents white. Okay, and now we have a lot of extra canvas here that we do not need. So to trim up the canvas, you're just going to go to Image, Trim, and it's going to trim away the top left pixel cover. So trim all that away. Now we have a nice circle photo. So we're going to go to Select, Deselect, just to get it off. And so the next thing you do is add text to this. So click on the text bar. You can, your layers are down here. I don't really know how each of your Photoshops will be set up. It's kind of individual preference. You can do windows. You can click on any window you want here. Characters, character styles. So this is going to give you a more in-depth menu bar for each of these selections. So that's my toddler coughing. So say we want this to say "'tis the reason." So when you use the text bar, the cool thing about the text tool is it's going to automatically create you a new layer here. So let's do this, and let's say I already have it up here. I have my swatches, and then I have characters right here. So there is this that gives you character options. So I could change it right here and go to the different things that I want. I don't like using this menu option number 1 because it's right over my text. And I really like to be able to see that when I'm trying to work with it. And so I want to use this one over here. That way I can see what I'm doing. And that one is going to have way more options on it over here. So over here, I can change the vertical proportion of it. I can change how wide it is horizontally, so I can make it 200% wider than it is taller. I can change the amount of space in between. So obviously, if you put this on auto, it's going to automatically space your document. So actually, that's not spacing it very well, but it should automatically space that out for you. So let's say since it's on 50 point, let's go ahead and put 80 point in between there. So that's a nice spacing. You can also highlight this, change your color right here. I want this to just be straight white. So white is 6 Fs. So if you want it to kind of blend in, you can always highlight it, choose this, and if you come over here, you can actually pick colors that you see. So obviously, most of them are going to blend in too much because you are choosing from here, but there are some images where a color that's featured will actually pop really nice. So that one actually pops pretty well. And so just press OK. So we have "'Tis the Reason," and say you don't really like the way, just step down, bud, step down. I apologize, guys. That's probably going to happen more often than not on these videos. That's why I went ahead and told you I have 2 kids under 2. So I'm changing this to 60 point font with a 90 point spacing, and I like that there. So if I am on the text tool, it's not going to give me the really in-depth guidelines here. But if I come up here to the move tool, it's going to show me where the center of my thing is. So that's the center. This would actually be the center of it, but we don't want to do that. So if you want it kind of centered above, you can have it over here to the right. You can put it wherever you want. I kind of want it over to the left a little bit. And so if you need to change this, just go back here, select. Say we don't like that font. Say we think the T's are a little crazy. We can come over here and find a new font. This is where you can really go down, guys, because I am notorious for spending way too long at picking a font, and it doesn't even stop here. Like, I will go and I will download new fonts just so I have more options to look. So obviously we're going to need a little more spacing in between here, so we're going to put the font size down to 50, and then we're going to change the spacing to 100, and that's going to give us a better thing there. So you can position it wherever you want. If you're wanting to create a new saying, so say you want to use this backdrop, but you want some new words, go down here, and click Create New Layer. And now on this layer, let's go ahead and turn the eye off of that layer. You have your same backdrop use. So perhaps you just want to say Merry Christmas. Ta-da! Merry Christmas. And say this can be centered pretty well. So just get your move tool. For some reason, my guidelines aren't wanting to pop up. Oh well. You'll also notice the rulers there, 0.236, so that's giving your spacing. So this is actually centered. Okay, so there's your Merry Christmas. So you can just keep doing that. You can turn off this layer and you can create a new layer. And so say you want to save this image. Obviously, don't turn them both on at the same time. Just save this, go to File, Save As. You're going to do it as, I do them as PNGs, PNG files. You can also do it as a JPEG. First off, let's just save this as a Photoshop, and let's just put Christmas Nativity Template. And so that's telling me that this is a document that I can put multiple things on. So now that we have it saved as that, let's go back in here and let's just put Merry Christmas. And then let's save it as an individual photo image. Okay, and so that's going to give us the document that we can then upload to, here it is. Now we have an image that we can upload in our Plunder Atlas. So there's a quick tutorial on how to take any image, circle crop it, and add a quote. Again, if you don't want these to get super confusing, you can group them in a file down here. I don't know if it's hard for y'all to see. So say let's take all of these, just go to Shift, select them all, and let's put them in a folder and group them all together. And we're just going to name this folder, if I can here, obviously double click on it, and then we're just going to put quotes. And so that's just going to be our folder of quotes. So you can make all the quotes disappear at once. And you can only edit the layer that you're clicked on. So say I'm in the Merry Christmas layer, and for some reason I need to fix something on the backdrop. You're not going to be able to if you don't go click on the background layer. But there's a quick tutorial for you guys. Drop your questions in the comments, and just let me know if this is helpful at all.